Is Monday, January 8th. Hope y'all had a great weekend. Quick recap of yesterday. We hit 3 and 4 of 5 on the NFL slips. We had a perfect slip for NBA. We had a 5-man slip and went down to a 4 of 4. We did have one reboot, but we still cashed out on that NBA slip. The only thing we did not hit was the 2-man, but we'll bounce back today. I do have the 2-man day 1 and then a 5-man. And then I'll have a video out shortly regarding the college football championship game. But my first two favorite props will be John Collins fantasy at 23. In his past 10 games, he has gone over 9 of the past 10 with a fantasy score of 22 or above. He's at 23. I still think he's going to get somewhere close to 30 range, especially against Milwaukee. They do not have Dame Lillard. So I think John Collins will have more opportunities. So I'll be taking more. And I'm going to be pairing up with Grayson Allen. And for Grayson Allen, there's a couple options. You can take his full game fantasy score. You can take his points. But I'm actually going to go to his NBA first quarter. And I'm going to be taking his points at 3.5. He's a fast starter. He usually gets all his production in the first half. In his first quarter, we're going to look at his past 5. He has gone over. And his past 10, he has gone over 9 and over 10, getting 4 points or more. He is at 3.5. He is going against the Clippers. He struggled a little bit against the Clippers at 5, but he's still covered. So I'm going to be pairing it with Grayson Allen's first quarter points. That is my 2-man for day 1. So let's go and head on over to our build a 5-man slip, and they're going to be all fantasy scores, usually my favorite. You can use John Collins if you like, but I do have 5 additional props to choose from. And first one obviously will be Grayson Allen, which I mentioned, and I'll be taking his full game fantasy. And he is at 25. He usually is in that range between 26 and 28. If you look at his past 5, he's gone over, except the time he did play against the Clippers, which he is going against the Clippers again. He was at 24.3. I think he'll do better, and he should easily clear that 25. So I'll be taking the over on that. Next up is Alperen Sengun. And for this pick, I actually use Daily Grind Fantasy as a tool I use to gather some of my picks or props. And there's a 54% chance that he's going to go over in this 40.5 fantasy score. Going up against Miami, I think a big reason is Jimmy Butler is out. So I think Sengun will have more opportunities to go over. Usually average between 45 and 50. He has a ceiling of 55. Pretty good player for the Rockets. I'll be taking the over on the fantasy score. Jimmy Butler is out. Bam is still not 100%. Tyler Hero is usually the offense right now for the Heat. So I'll be taking Sengun over fantasy. Next up, I'm going with Josh Giddey. And the past couple of times we took Josh Giddey, he has been cashing for us. His fantasy score is still respectable at 27.5. Usually he's at 28 or 28.5. I'll be taking the over. He's going against pretty bad team in the Wizards. So at 27.5, I think he's going to get somewhere in the mid-30s. If it's not Shy getting most of the production, will be Giddey or Lugan Stort. Just in case if it does become a blowout, Giddey and Dort will be on the floor more than Shy. They'll probably sit down Shy if it is a blowout. Next up I'm going with is Denny Avdija. And for him, I'll be taking his fantasy score as well, 28. Gone over 4 of the past 5. In his past 10, he's gone over 7 of the past 10 when his fantasy scores at 28 or more. He does have a ceiling of 50. He had a big game against the Nets. But against OKC, 28. I think in respect, I think he'll get low 30s. So I'll have him going over. Gets about 10 points, 11 points. Rebounds, usually double digits. Throws a couple assists here and there, so he should go over that 28 fantasy score. And my last leg for this 5-man, it's one of my favorites that I take, is Colin Sexton. He's been cashing for me the past couple of weeks. Points, PRA. Obviously, I'll be taking his fantasy score at 28. That's about his range between 27 and 28. So 28 to go over against Milwaukee. Like I mentioned, Dame Lillard is out, so I think he have plenty of opportunities, which him and John Collins will take advantage of. So those are the 5 that I like. I did not take many of the superstars, just for the fact that their lines are way too inflated. With Tyrese, I think Giannis line is almost at 70 for a fantasy score. It's pretty insane. 67.5, that's pretty high. I mean, obviously he has a ceiling of 80, but you can see his past couple of games been going over 70. Tyrese is almost at 50. So I kind of stayed away. You can also look at that Clipper game with Kawhi Leonard. I think the only prop I like from him right now is his rebounds. Rebounds and assists has been a wagon as well. I got it at 9, and that was one of the props that cashed for me yesterday. So 9.5 now, still respectable, still good. He had 11 against Phoenix. Going against Phoenix again. I don't think Durant's playing. But those are the 5. Grayson Allen, Alperen Sengun, Josh Giddey, Danny Avdija, and Collie Sexton are my favorite 5 for this fantasy score. So mix and match, pick your favorite. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Appreciate the support. If you need more additional props, you can also look at Daily Grind Fantasy. It's a great tool to use. I usually get about 50% of my props there. If you need more info, go to the description. You can sign up. Make sure you guys use that link to help me out. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one shortly for the college football video.